You've heard all the common advice about saving money. Cut back on your coffee, make a budget, and stop shopping so much. But if it was really that simple, more people would be sitting on growing savings accounts. The truth is, sometimes there are deeper, less obvious reasons why a person might be having a hard time saving. Number one, taking experiences over things a little too far. There's been a huge movement lately encouraging people to spend more on experiences rather than material things, and for good reason. Memories tend to last longer than objects, so investing in things like travel, concerts, or unique outings might be able to bring long-term satisfaction. But like anything else, moderation is key. Some people will justify overspending on experiences by saying it's a better use of their money. But while that might be true, there's still a limit to how far this should go. Traveling too frequently or overloading your calendar with expensive activities can add up quickly, which might leave very little room for saving. And in all honesty, just because something is an experience doesn't mean it's exempt from your budget. So you need to learn how to balance the desire for fun and adventure with your financial goals. So yes, experiences are valuable, but they should be enjoyed within reason. Many people also struggle to save money because they haven't clearly defined their financial priorities. And likewise, you might only have a vague idea of what you're saving for or how much you want to stash away. But this can be dangerous because without any specific goal, it's so easy to get distracted by day-to-day expenses and temptations. Having undefined financial goals is like trying to take a road trip without a map. You're driving, but you don't really know where you're going. And when you don't have any type of destination in mind, it becomes so much harder to stay disciplined with your spending. Money then becomes something that you only manage in the moment instead of a tool for achieving something bigger. So to break this cycle, it's so important to get specific about your financial goals. Are you saving for an emergency fund, a down payment for a house, or maybe early retirement? Because without any, saving can feel abstract, and you're more likely to spend money on things that don't match your true priorities. Another common financial mistake people make is ignoring the rising cost of living. Prices go up, it's a fact of life. But when this happens, one mistake that people make is trying to maintain the same level of spending they're used to, even when their paychecks aren't keeping up. Whether it's dining out, entertainment, or even basic living expenses, sticking to old habits in the face of inflation can take a huge toll on your savings. So if you find yourself dipping into your savings account more or using your credit cards more to cover non-essentials, that is a sign that it's time to adjust your spending. Now, this doesn't mean giving up everything you enjoy, but it will require a realistic look at your budget. In other words, can you cut back on how often you eat out, or are there subscriptions or services that you're no longer using but still paying for? The key here is really to be adaptable. So just because you've always done things one way doesn't mean that you can't make adjustments when needed. The truth is, if you're not willing to cut back in some areas, your savings goals might continue to feel out of reach. A lot of people also fail to save money because they don't value small wins. They think, what's the point of saving $5 or $10 here and there because it won't make a difference? However, this mindset can often lead to a kind of financial apathy where you only believe it's worth saving when the amounts are big. Small amounts can add up in a major way. So that $5 that you save every week might not seem like much, but after a year, that's $260 that you didn't have 12 months ago. And when combined with other small wins, these small amounts can snowball, and before you know it, you've built a significant cushion. So never dismiss the power of incremental progress. At the end of the day, saving is a marathon, not a sprint. So those small amounts along the way matter just as much as the big ones. And a final reason why some people have a hard time saving is that they're abusing self-care. Now, don't get me wrong, self-care is extremely important because it helps us recharge, feel good, and stay mentally and physically healthy. But there is a line between taking care of yourself and using self-care as an excuse to overspend. These days, the idea of treat yourself has been taken to a whole new level, where you have people excessively splurging on feel-good experiences. And while there's nothing inherently wrong with indulging in certain services, doing it frequently might drain your budget faster than you realize. And the issue, of course, isn't self-care in itself. It's more so the lack of balance and doing so at the expense of your financial health. True self-care doesn't always have to come with a hefty price tag. Sometimes it can be taking a walk, reading a book, a spa day at home, or simply allowing yourself some downtime without spending money. The bottom line is that it is possible to pamper yourself without hurting your financial progress. And by setting limits on how often you indulge, you can enjoy these moments without regret when you look at your bank account.